Hey, what's going on, family? It's Brother Andrew back again with another video. And today we'll be continuing this video series on mathematics. We'll be going over math for my third, fourth, and fifth graders in preparation for the end of the year assessments. In this video, we'll be learning how to find the exact sum and difference of large numbers. And we'll also be going over when you can just estimate and get an answer as opposed to getting an exact answer. All right, so we're going to jump right on over to our blackboard and do some examples for you. The first thing we're going to talk about today is when to estimate and keywords you need to pay attention to within these questions that let you know you're going to have to estimate or if you're going to have to find an exact answer. So the first phrase you need to pay attention to whenever you're reading these directions to these questions during your assessments is about how many. If you see this lets you know you're not going to have to find an exact answer. An estimation is what you're going to have to do. Now, other key phrases like find the sum or what is the sum or determine the sum or what is the difference let you know you're going to be looking for an exact answer. So whenever you see about how many, we know we're going to estimate. And we know that because about is right there. So we're not looking for an exact answer. We can estimate. Now, whenever you see sum, the word sum lets you know you're going to want to add. You're going to be doing addition. These are key terms you need to understand. That way you can make sure you're completing the problems the correct way. Now we have another keyword we need to pay attention to, and that's difference. Anytime you see the word difference, you know you're going to be subtracting. All right. These are very, very important vocabulary words that you should pay attention to and understand what they mean. And whenever you see them inside of word problems or directions, they're giving you instructions on how you solve these problems. Now that we have these basic vocabulary words down pat, we're going to go right on over into some examples, right? The first example we're going to do is we're going to estimate the sum of 6,145 and 4,892. All right. We have key terms here that's giving us directions on how we go about solving this problem. The very first word we see is estimate. That lets us know that we're not having to find an exact answer. And the main method we're going to use when we're estimating is rounding. We're going to use rounding to do these things. Now, if we continue reading, it says estimate the sum of 6,145 and 4,892. So sum is another key word. That lets me know right there we're going to add. Now, when you're doing problems like this, these are what's called multi-step problems, meaning you have to do more than one thing in order to get the final answer. So for this problem, we're going to have to estimate, when we're going to use rounding for that. And then we're going to have to find the sum, or we're going to have to add those rounded numbers together. And you want to make sure you do it in those orders. You want to make sure you estimate first and then round. Sometimes we like to add up or find the sum of the numbers and then estimate. But for the purposes of our assessments and what's the expectations, we're wanting you to find the estimated values first and then put those together and get the sum of those numbers. All right. So let's do that. And whenever we're estimating or rounding, we're going to the greatest common place value, the largest common place value. So if we look, both of these numbers go to the thousands place. So since that's the greatest place value that they both have, we're going to round to that number. And the technique that I like to use for rounding is it's the underline box method. So I underline the place value that we have the potential to either raise it or keep it the same. And what's our phrase that we always use for rounding? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, we raise the score. And that's talking about or referring to the number or the place value right next to the thousands place in this case. So if I look in my box on my first number, it's 4 or less. So we're going to let this 6 rest. So this is just going to rest and all other digits will become zeros. And now right here on the next number, if we look at our hundreds place, it's 5 or more. So we're going to raise the score. So our 4 will become a 5 and all other digits will become zeros. Now, don't forget we had sum, our sum, so we're going to add. Now, 6 plus 5 is 11. So we have 11,000. Now, whenever we're estimating or rounding, we get numbers that are easy to add together or subtract. And it's just a quicker way to get a figure that's very, very close to what we're looking for. All right. We oftentimes use estimation to kind of check our answers, make sure we're in the same range of where we should be. Like if I do addition or subtraction and I wanted to just make sure I'm in the right area and not too far off, and I could just do a quick estimation, a quick rounding. And as long as my numbers are somewhere close to each other, I could know that I'm in the right area and I'm not so far off. The estimated sum is 11,000. This estimation method is much faster than the traditional addition method where we would just find an exact number and we would stack both numbers on top of each other and go through each and every place value in order to come up with a solution. All right. Now let's do one more problem. For this one, we're going to estimate the difference between 8,821 and 2,154. What are our key words within this problem? First one I see, estimate, lets me know we're estimating or we're going to round. And then the next word that I see is difference. That lets me know that I'm going to be subtracting. All right. So like I said, we're always going to want to estimate the numbers, or we're going to round the numbers first, and then we're going to find the difference. All right. So we're going to use our underline box method again. Underline, box. All right. So 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. 5 or more right there. So we're going to raise that 8 to a 9. 4 or less, we're going to let it rest. So this is going to remain 2. All right. Now we just add in find the difference. I know 9 minus 2 is 7. 7,000. The estimated difference is 7,000. Wonderful. Good job. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about the standard algorithmic method.